welcome to Sports Unfolded NBA Ranking Show. Your host, Eric, and my big guy right there, Kenny, the man. How are you?
Good.
Good. So we released our NBA rankings on Monday, and so we're going to discuss them today and just kind of go through what we've seen. So not a lot of changes, but obviously some movement right off the bat. So at number 5, you had
Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz, who are 30-18, but 2-8 in the last 10. So
Yeah.
honestly, have not played well the last 10 games. Good chance they may be out next week, right?
Yeah, good chance they be out. Matter of fact, I think they will be out. They got a tough schedule this week. They are first in points, but third in rebounds. But so they can score, but it's all about ball movement, I guess, in the West.
Yeah, and again, the West is tough. So 4 out of the 5 teams in our top 5 are actually from the West. There's not much coming out of the East. The only team that is in the East is our number 4, which is
Right. The Heat.
the Miami Heat, who are 30-17, 7-3 in their last 10. So obviously, the last 10 games have played pretty well to get onto the list.
Yeah. Bam is back, so they're doing a great job. They just need a couple of key people that to come back, and they're good.
Right. So Jimmy Butler recently came back as well from injury. So
Yeah.
between him, Bam, we could definitely start to see some Miami Heat movement here, possibly moving up on the list.
And them late games, you want Butler to take that last shot. Matter of fact, did you know, Eric?
Did
In
I?
the last,
We already did. I know. I love
in
it.
the last 3 years, Butler is 6 for 13. That is 19% on shots taken at the end of the game or overtime.
Wow. Okay. So Jimmy Butler's the guy
Yeah,
for Miami's success late in the game.
you want him to take that last shot.
So, who do you have at number 3?
Number 3, I got Memphis.
The Grizz.
The
Ja
Grizz.
Morant,
I am
possible MVP candidate.
Yeah, I'm surprised they dropped third, but they had 2 or 3 lost games.
Yeah, so they are 32-17 overall, 7-3 in their last 10. So
Yep.
again, not horrible.
Yeah, 16 points, first in rebounds, and kids are rebounding.
Wow.
Kids off the bench are rebounding.
And you got to look at Memphis with the fact no real superstars other than Ja, and what they're able to do, and so the coaching staff is doing a great job. And with the NBA, and you can say this with that sport more than any other sport, if you have one key guy that can just, tear it up, it's going to make a difference on how successful a team is.
Oh yeah, most definitely. If you got one guy, the rest will follow.
Right. So Ja continues to play the way he does again, and the West is tough. So it's not going to be an easy road for them, but again, they have the potential to be a contender for a championship. Just we'll have to see what happens at the trade deadline, and if they can make a move that honestly improves them enough to beat the 2 top teams here that you have. And this one, they're starting to slide. So I was a little. I don't know how much longer they're going to hold on to this one of these top 2 spots, and that would be Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors, yeah. I think they just need Draymond back, to rotate that ball, But yeah, they had a lot of little issues, with COVID and Steph Curry out, and they still got Draymond out, but
So
Clay,
34-13, right? Yeah, 34-13, 5-5 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
So they're 500 in the last 10 games.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying about Draymond, but we expected the insertion of Klay Thomas, right? To be that other factor. And now he actually the knee's a little issue with the knee. They sat him the other day. Steph Curry. So let me ask you this: did you know, Kenny, that have you seen lately Steph Curry's shooting percentage?
Yeah.
So he's had some struggles. Do you think
Yeah.
this is it an injury? Is it something where he's just struggling, or do you feel like this is a trend now that could hurt the Golden State Warriors?
He's just struggling, you know. I mean, they got to a great start, and he's just like let them fly. And I'm like, oh, that's a bad shot. That's a real bad shot. But you know what? Shooters shoot.
Right, and
What they
that's
do.
ultimately, I mean, I think that's what's going to happen is he'll break out of it. But I'm just curious if there might be some kind of injury that we might not be aware of, because he's just on I think it's one of his worst slumps that he's ever had in his career, and
Yeah.
you figured with Clay coming back, that would have just opened it up more for him, and he's actually shooting worse.
Yeah. Clay need to come off the bench and not start. I mean, if he comes off the bench, you'd give him rest and he'd be better,
And again, Wiggins is playing great for them. They've got a lot of key plays, but nobody seems to be able to get past this number one team. So they're 37-9, 9-1 in their last 10.
Yep.
And that would be
Phoenix Suns.
So let me ask you this question. Last year, obviously lost in the finals. Some teams have hiccups. They can't get past it and they lose. Do you feel that loss was probably ultimately the best thing for the Phoenix Suns? Because if you look at the way they're playing this year, they seem to really be on a mission to win it all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. Can I say how big of a pickup is Bismack Biyombo? Are you kidding me? Off the bench getting double-doubles, 21 points, 13 rebounds. I'm like, wow. It's kind of sad because Andre Ayton, who? I mean, he needs to come back and, he needs to, put up some big numbers.
So you think there might be an issue with Ayton for re-signing after the season?
I don't know. He need to come back
or trade bait.
Put up some big numbers. He got to put up some big numbers, and they gotta go far in the playoffs.
So, do you think Phoenix will be active in the trade market?
No.
You think they're going to stay put with what they have and just roll with it?
Yeah, they're going to stay put with what they have. They got a good team. They got a good bench. Chris Paul is there.
Chris Paul, did you know, Kenny? Chris Paul is leading the league in assists at 10.2 assists per game. So you think about at his age and what he's done. I've heard this the other day, and I honestly, before I had heard it, I didn't really think about it. But if you look at LeBron and what he's tried to do is get these players to come play with him and some of these other teams, Chris Paul went to a team that wasn't established.
Yep.
Phoenix Suns were not established. I mean, Devin Booker was an up-and-coming star, but not what we see today. And he went to a team, and look what he's been able to do. It's just impressive that we probably don't give Chris Paul enough credit for how good of a player he really is.
Yeah, true. And a leader.
Right? Yeah, because we'll look at the LeBrons, we'll look at the Kevin Durant's, and Durant's done the same thing. He left Golden State, which was a super team, and built a super team in Brooklyn. Chris Paul, on the other hand, went to a team that hadn't gotten any recognition as being there, and he's got them as the number one team on our list, but overall record-wise as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Paul's the man.
So normally on Sports Unfolded, we do a pick and roll, and we rank our top 5, right? But I'm going to ask you, out of these 3 players, if you were to build your franchise right now, and they're all a little up there in age, but Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Chris Paul, would Chris be your number 1?
Yes. Yeah. He has the best.
The 2 other players, right?
Yeah. He has the best leader qualities of all time.
So it's just impressive to see Chris Paul and what he's been able to do. So let's bring up this list here, and we are going to just review it quickly. So we had got 8 million things going on here sometimes. Hold on, buddy. Yeah. I'm back on this. All right. So we had so Utah Jazz at number 5, the Miami Heat at 4, the Memphis Grizzlies at 3, Golden State Warriors at 2, and the Phoenix Suns at number 1. I would expect Phoenix to be number 1 unless, something drastic changes. But could you see some movement in this list? Possibly Grizzlies to 2 if the Golden State Warriors continue to struggle?
Yeah, probably Memphis at 2, Golden State at 3, and Chicago might be back next week. Who knows?
Chicago. So, again, Chicago's battling a lot of injuries,
Mhm.
which is definitely created some problems for them. They were on our list a few times,
Mhm.
but currently are not. But let me ask you about Milwaukee and Brooklyn. So those are the other 2 teams in the East that possibly could get in. Milwaukee's 30-19, so they're right around that range of where everybody else is. Brooklyn 29-17. Brooklyn obviously missing Kevin Durant, part-time player Kyrie Irving.
Mhm.
I could see some struggles with that. But let me ask you this question. So there are rumors out there, and this is, again, just rumors,
Mhm.
but there is a strong feeling that James Harden for Ben Simmons could be a possibility for Brooklyn. Do you feel like, A, it's a good move, and B, would that ultimately help them continue to drive?
Yeah. They need to do that. They need to, yeah. If that's the case, then they need to pull it because James Harden is going to be a free agent and he's testing the free agent waters.
Yeah.
So instead of letting him go, you might as well just pull the trigger.
So
Just
is Amari Murray's the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers.
yeah.
And I know there's been some questions about the trade or making trades, and he's trying to get the dollar for the dollar for Ben Simmons. To me, this is a phenomenal move for them.
Yep.
And look, to your point, James Harden, free agent, you've got to maximize what you're getting out of Joel Embiid this year.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing MVP basketball, and you need to get a player to help him if Philly really wants to have a chance to win a championship. To me, see this as a win-win. The only question I would have is, can Kyrie and Ben Simmons coexist?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Kyrie's
So
not
who's
going
your
to
point guard?
Ben Simmons.
And you
My
put
point guard is
Kyrie at shooting?
Ben Simmons at home. Kyrie on the road.
The road, yes. Yeah, we got the road, yes. The part-time player.
Yeah.
And then what about Milwaukee? Do we feel like, again, Giannis and what they're able to do, they possibly could be on the list next week?
I don't know. Chris Middleton's out, so
Oh, Middleton's out. I did not know that.
yeah. Chris Middleton's out, so I don't know. They just keep struggling and struggling and struggling.
Yeah, right. They haven't been able to stay consistent
Nope.
throughout. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. Again, defending champions. I think once you win it, you kind of have an idea of exactly how to win it again. So you really don't need to figure it out in the regular season, especially in the NBA. And we've seen it
It's all about
numerous
the
times.
playoffs.
Yeah, again, playoffs. And in the NBA, it's really how you perform in the fourth quarter and what you do in the fourth quarter. So a lot of times with these NBA games lately, you don't really have to watch till the fourth quarter, and that's what you're going to ultimately see which team's going to pull it out. So they've done it in the past. It'd be interesting to see. I'm really looking forward to Memphis. I want to see what they do this week because I feel like they could overtake the Warriors. I really think the Warriors are on a slump, and you don't realize how much Draymond Green has meant to the Golden State Warriors till you've seen the last 10 games.
Yeah.
And how important he really is to that piece. So every team's trying to get those big three. He's a big piece of that big three for the Golden State Warriors.
No doubt.
All right. So there was a segment you wanted to do. Did you know Eric? Did we already cover that with the
Miami?
the Jimmy Butler? So every week we are going to do a Did You Know Eric? So I like that. I'm really excited about that. If you enjoy what you're seeing, check us out. We do a live podcast every Friday night at 6 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. It is fan interactive. So if you join in, you can definitely interact with us, and we will put your comments up and obviously respond to them. If you want to follow us on social media, it's at Sports Unfolded on Facebook and Twitter, at Broadcasting RI on Twitter, Sports_Unfolded on Instagram. don't have time to watch, listen to us on Amazon, Anchor, Google, and Spotify. All our podcasts there. Check us out, TikTok, T-Smooth73. Every week I post all the rankings up there as well. So they're out there. A lot of fan response to that, Kenny. So you're doing a great job with the NBA. I appreciate all your help there. If you can't tell, we're Patriot fans from the New England area, so we cover a lot of Patriots stories as well. Kenny's got the big three back there with Ray Allen's missing. I don't know, maybe he's still upset with the team. But so we cover a lot of the locals as well. So keep Sports Unfolded on in your thoughts about what you want to watch from a sports talk show, because I'm sure we're bringing it more than anybody else, especially if you're local and want to cover the Boston Celtics, the Boston Bruins, the New England Patriots, and the Boston Red Sox, who I know you're a diehard Red Sox fan, so I'm sure you're excited about the David Ortiz making the Hall of Fame. First time, right? First year ballot. Big Poppy, great news for the Boston Red Sox fans out there. And just to go to show you that whole era of Boston sports with the Celtics, the Patriots, and the Red Sox in those 2000s, the early 2000s, and what the impact it had on New England sports. Hopefully the Celtics, which we don't really get to talk about much on this show because of just their struggles, but and they're playing right now, so we'll have to see how they do tonight. But at some point, I'm hoping they start to see New England Patriots are starting to rebuild and look pretty good. The Boston Bruins are playing pretty well. Mm-hmm. Hopefully the Boston Celtics decide to make a move that ultimately helps them. I know you are excited about the Bowl and that trade. Yeah. Did you get your Bowl jersey?
I was just about to press enter, and then he won't be playing. What?
He won't be playing the whole season. Yeah. So ultimately, do you feel like Boston will make a move before the trade deadline? Another move?
Yeah, they have to.
Is it Marcus Smart? That's the biggest name that's been mentioned. Brad Stevens has come out and said that basically Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Robert Williams are the only three that are untouchable for any trades. So Marcus Smart's probably the next best player in Boston.
Yeah.
Do they make that move? Do they get rid of Marcus Smart?
My heart says no, but my mind says yes.
Yeah. So again, I think they're trying to free up some cap room as well. We'll have to see how it all works out, but I don't. Freedom. Yeah, freedom. Oh boy, Schroeder. Schroeder too. I mean, there's so many things that they should be doing that. Honestly, as a Celtics fan, it's a little discouraging. But hopefully, again, we'll have something. And if they do make a trade, I'm sure we'll jump on and do something for that as well.
Yep.
But Kenny, appreciate your time. I know you've been doing the predictions as well, so you're starting to pick up a little bit on the predictions. You're over 500 now.
Yeah, boy.
So keep bringing it every week, every Friday, 6 p.m. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. Check us out. My other co-host Ron Kenny joins Sports Unfolded every so often as well. So appreciate your time, and we will see you next week with your rankings.
All right, I'll be there.
All right, brother. Have a good night. Fans out there that are watching live, thank you. Peace.
Peace.